All right, we're recording. Hello and happy July 5th. I'm still working on Lady of Sorrow Springs. I did a color test. This is on the vintage paper, and you know what? That looks pretty legit to me. That looks like an old comic. So we're going to continue. Color is very slow. And I'm trying to optimize what I can out of color. I'm like I said, I'm kind of a noob at it, but I'll go over my process a little bit. You can see I've already started on this one. Now, step one, one of the most important things you got to have is a palette, and a single palette if you can. I actually pulled this off of. I use the palette creator. If you use this little plus sign here, it'll say create a new palette from the camera or from the file or from a photo, and I use it from a photo. So in this case, the photo is, let me find my photos. Oh, they're right over here. It should be one of the most recent ones. Yeah, it's this issue of Two Gun Kid. So I found this Two Gun Kid and I got, okay, this is a good Western style comic, and I want the colors to look as if they came out of something like this, right? 1963's Two Gun Kid. And once you boil it down, let me show you how it works. You click on the plus side, throw the photo in there, and it'll take that photo, in this case the cover of Two Gun Kid, and it'll come up with this color palette. That's how I did these two color palettes too, but for other comics. Alright. Now it is limited. You're not going to get all the colors you want, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to just choose from what colors they have. And hopefully those will be enough. You're also going to attempt, I say, to stay consistent. In this case, I think it's this cloak here is this color. So we want to make sure, and I think his hat is slightly off of that. No, it's not really. I got the wrong color. Or, oh, I'm on the wrong layer. So you make sure you're on the right layer. If you have different color settings, that can also affect what color you get out at the end. So there's that. Another thing that's kind of important to note is when you're coloring digitally, which is flatting, although I don't know, I guess I'm using kind of the same technique as most digital / webcomics use. You're not coloring it like a coloring book. You're really just going for the outlines of the shapes. Try to nail those all at the same time. I believe his glove is the same as the cloak, so we're going to make sure that the glove matches the cloak. Here's the glove. If you need to shade things, that's a different step. So let's go ahead and throw this one in here. Whoops, nope. Try again. There we go. This is like a fingerless cowboy gauntlet. Lord, it's got this magical thing on it too. Okay, he's got the bright blue, which I think is this blue. Actually, you know what? I think it's this blue off of Sundays in Space, which is not far off. And actually, I should. Let's do this. Yeah, it is. It totally is. So I pulled that color off of Sundays in Space, but now I've replaced it. So I've added to my palette a little bit, which is cool. That's fine. Alright, there's the necklace of teeth. I can tell you a little bit of the editorial direction I'm going here. He's looking for this ghost, the Lady of Sorrow Springs, and they end up at the mission, Spanish mission. And you notice she comes out, it's nighttime, she comes out, she's holding the lantern, and she kind of glows, so it's kind of implying that maybe she's the lady. She's not. She's just, she's always shown in the light. And then what we're showing here is a transition from dark on the left side of the panel to move towards the light. So when we do our shading in our night sky backgrounds, we're going to also emphasize that as well. Maybe try and exaggerate it more, because I think I'm a bit too subtle in just the black and white here. All right. What about skin tones? Skin tones are harder when you've only got a limited palette. I think this color is actually this. It's yellow. No, it's too yellow. So it's not that one. Could be this one. Nope. Could it be this one? I think that's it. I think that's as close as we're going to get. So we're going to make sure it's used. Let's use that one. Yeah, that looks fleshy enough. Now, if you're worried it's not fleshy enough, you have a couple of choices. Like just like my blue, you could pull a tone that you want off of another panel, but you kind of have to take into account the overall color of the page a little bit. So yeah, he looks a little bit beige here, like he's transitioning to beige, but that's okay because the whole comic does. Like the whole page is going to look like that, and we might even give her an even paler tone. What if we gave her this tone? Is it the same tone? Oh, it looks okay. I think it looks good. We'll put his fingers here. Her hand is here. And against the background, this should pop pretty well. I'm going to color her lip because we're going to use our cell shading method to bring out even more color. Alright, as far as the hat goes, the hat is a kind of a green color. It's actually this green, which I think is this green. Possibly this green. Let's use this green. Okay, going pretty well. All right, and now all we have left, what we're going to do is we're going to, because we want to do some gradient effects on this background, the only color left here is the background, and we're going to use this night sky color, which is this color. I have a background layer. And we're just going to use that layer, but I remember that we want to have her kind of glowing a little bit. So no matter what we put around her, we're going to use our smudging tool, oops, to try and push some of the white out around her to make an effect that's kind of like this kind of glowing effect. And the same exact color, when you put it over the tones here where he's standing over in the dark, almost goes straight to black, so it's going to be darker around him. We also have a second shading tone. You remember when I was doing the Dino Sorcerers, it's like a dark purple? Well, in this case, I didn't have a dark purple on the palette. I could have imported one. I could have imported the exact same one off of the Dino Sorcerers, but if you look at what I got over here, I have this super dark blue. It's not black, it's this blue. And, you know, we're going to back it off, and I used it to darken these kind of areas you can see in the sky. So we can do a lot with just that black. We just make sure the layer is multiplied so it blends with the other colors. And then you just back off the intensity of it. Oops. And you'll be fine, I think. On this character, the darkness goes right to him. He hasn't revealed his past yet, but he has a dark past. All I've got to do is the teeth things. And that's his whole reason for coming here to seek the Lady of Sorrow Springs, is to find some kind of peace or redemption from his dark past. And we haven't introduced the other. This is just page 1. We're going to do a sort of Agatha Christie thing where we introduce the other characters on the next page. And each character will have some kind of secret, which I don't know if we'll necessarily reveal right away. I'm just fixing her hood there. Let's get back to our shadows here. Oh, did I choose the wrong blue? I did. Or did I? I may not have. No, this is the right blue. So one of the things is this is the monastery isn't where the ghost hangs out. The ghost hangs out in the ruins. And we have to find the secrets of the ghost too. Like, the ghost used to be a sorceress who traded her soul for the power of prophecy and was cursed by it. We have to bring all this out in the story. We can't just say it up front. We have to actually reveal it sort of bit by bit in the story. And I'm bothered by this little blink of light, of white light, but I think we're going to leave it there. Don't know what it is. Okay. So now that we've done all that, how do we push the light out? Well, I've got my smudge tool. In this case, I'm using the ooh, whoops. It's okay, don't panic. I'm using the Copycat smudger. It's a Copic smudge tool. I don't want this to imply that she's a straight up ghost, because she's not meant to be. Okay, if you're wondering what happens to all the smudgy blue, we just get rid of it. We just take it off. If it smudges over onto something else, that's fine. I'm hoping this doesn't read as supernatural. I think right now it kind of does, so. All right. Soften that a little bit. If you leave these hard edges, it'll look like it's like an active glow, like there's shimmering light here. But if we soften up the edges, it's less obvious. All right. Okay. I'll just get rid of any of the blue that smudged into the other areas, like the gutters. Just erase it. Put a little bit over here. And bring some of the blue back into the white if we want to. Oops. Right, now we're going to use this darkest color, and this is our shadow color, our shading color. And what we've done is we've taken that color, it gets its own layer, it's been multiplied down to about, in this case, 36%. And you can see we can look at his eye, you know, as we move it around. I like it around 36%. And in this case, we know where the light is. She's the light, right? So maybe that's not a good place to put a shadow. We could put a shadow behind his nose here. Behind him. We don't need to do much. And this is cell shading, so it's really simple shading. There we go. Let's put some in the back of her hood. Oops. And because the shading's on its own layer, anything you do with the shading won't hurt anything else. So we can erase it. Two colors I missed. This part of the gauntlet is supposed to be red, and these teeth things here. So I jumped the gun once again. It's okay, we're gonna go back and fix that. Alright, let's get back to colors. There's our red. And this kind of bone color. Right. Seems okay. We could also throw some stars in our night sky. This is our night sky. And then finally, we can also throw some shading on the sky. And where we're going to put the shading on the sky, it's going to be behind him. And we can use some of the same tricks we've already used. Now we could also do, there's some interesting things we can do here. He's under this tree, so we can have shadows of the leaves. We can put in the shades here to imply that there's moonlight coming down. It's shining through the leaves of the trees. I think that's a start. Now we're at 21 minutes. I think this page is pretty much done, but let me show you what we're going to do with it. I got two options here, but I'm going to start with this one. We're going to copy the whole canvas, which is everything. And I happen to already have, this is my test piece of, I don't know if you could see it, but it's meant to simulate sort of vintage newsprint. So we're going to take all of this, delete it, and we're going to paste in the whole page. There it is, it's back. And then we can adjust the ink effects and adjust the paper texture, like how much of paper texture is going to be playing through here. And then what you end up with is something that looks a little bit like a vintage comics page, especially when it's printed out. It'll look pretty, pretty vintagey. In fact, I don't even know if I like the texture so much. We're going to go ahead and back some of the texture off. Yeah, like that. Alright, so that's it. That's how to do the vintage color trick. Alright, stay tuned. There'll be page 2. We're going to, I haven't even started it yet. If you look on what I've got over here, basically nothing. So let me go ahead and start up a canvas, and hopefully I'll get the rough marked out soon. Talk to you later.